Hey everyone, it's Lexi. So in today's video, I'll be doing kind of a bit of a fun video, but these are like my Ravenclaw reading recommendations. So based on like the personality traits of Ravenclaw, what I think, like these are books that I would recommend. And so I'm technically a Ravenclaw. I took the exam, which I think is fitting for me. But yeah, these are books where characters are either like have like a high, so basically the traits for Ravenclaw are like it's basically involves learning, but like wisdom, wit, and intellect are the ones. So that's like these are ones that I think either spark some kind of internal dialogue or thinking, or they involve characters that are very smart. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So first up, I have Gravity by Tess Gerritsen, and this is like a sci-fi thriller, essentially. So it follows a woman named Dr. Emma Watson, which is ironic given this video. But basically she is a physician that goes up on the International Space Station, and then while she's up there, there is this kind of viral outbreak where people are just mysteriously dying, and she's trying to figure out what is causing that. So what I really like about Dr. Watson is that she's very smart. She's very much well-rounded in what she's doing, and she has to rely on her skills and training and her education to kind of figure out what's going on. But yeah, this was a very intense book. It combines two of my worst fears, which are like viral outbreaks and space travel. So definitely like this one was a lot of fun. And Tess Gerritsen is a physician too, so she's really good at explaining the medical terminology in a way that like everyone can understand. So yeah, definitely pick this one up, and you guys will all be inspired by Dr. Watson in here because she is just so smart and just fearless. Next, I have Sydney from Blood on the Tracks, and she is a vet from Afghanistan, and she is now a detective for the railroad tracks in Colorado. And so what I really like about Sydney that kind of reminds me of Ravenclaw is that she is just so so intellectual, and she kind of like sees and picks up on things, and she's solving these crimes that are very, very complex. And I don't know, she's just so smart. She doesn't have the traditional education that like an Ivy League person would have, or just a highly educated person does, but she is kind of a student of life, as my teacher likes to say. We're all students of life, but she's just very good at kind of using her background and in her life experiences to solve these crimes. And I highly recommend, if you're looking for like a crime series, this one is really, really good. It's relatively new too. There's only 3 books out, but they're really good, really high intensity, and Sydney is just the best. So yeah. So next, this is a book that me and my aunt are currently buddy reading, and it is Resistance Women, and it talks about people, or a group of women during World War II who kind of formed this resistance. But what's really unique about these group of women is that they're highly academic women. They're all either have their PhD or they're currently doing their PhD, so they have that smart education background, and they're very well-rounded in terms of their area of studies. So this is something I can really relate to now as being a PhD student and just dealing with kind of the stresses of school. But I really liked how it kind of showcased and highlighted women who have like a good background in education, and that's something you don't really see. And I especially like, because it is in the 1940s, how it shows that as well, because I feel like women in academia isn't really something that is talked about in history. So definitely I really enjoyed this, and they would all be Ravenclaws, maybe Gryffindors too, because they're being brave in forming the resistance, but in terms of their academic background, very much Ravenclaw. Next, this is another one where you are a student of life, and it is The Great Alone by Kristen Hannah. So it follows a girl named Lenny whose parents kind of have some marital issues. Her dad was a POW in Vietnam, and they decide on a whim that they're going to go move up to Alaska where all of their problems are solved. But for this one, in terms of a student of life, it really deals with Lenny kind of understanding the complexities of domestic violence, as her dad is very abusive to her mother, and she sees stuff when she's little, but she doesn't fully grasp it until she's older. And seeing her kind of learn about that and all of that stuff, I think is really interesting. And she's just so wise beyond her years, and I think that's why it made me really think of her as a Ravenclaw. So this is one I read earlier this year and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, it's really unique, and the Alaskan atmosphere is also really cool as well. So yeah. And lastly, I have Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari, and this is a kind of cultural anthropological take on how Homo sapiens evolved to be what they are today. And I'm like, I double majored during my undergrad, and one of them was anthropology, so I really like knew a lot of this stuff. My background was more like, I focused more on physical like evolution side, and I was a little bit disappointed with this one because I thought it would focus more on the physical side, but this one kind of talks about the cultural standpoints in terms of like religion and all that. So if you are into that stuff, I think you guys will really like this. Again, it's also kind of talked about in a way that is easier for people to understand. We're not religious, so I had a hard time kind of when it was referencing stuff from like the Bible, like I didn't fully grasp it, so this one wasn't my favorite. I was a little disappointed by that. But if you guys are very interested in just kind of how we evolved to what we are today, I think you guys will really enjoy this because it is very well done. It just wasn't my favorite because the cultural anthropology is not my favorite. Definitely physical, hands down. So that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what some of your Ravenclaw reads are and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.